I was raised in housing. I don't think you were. I was raised in housing. I don't think you were.
Good evening, Freddie Vasquez here with Basement Politics Unfiltered, Season 3. I'm back, folks. Tonight's episode, Majority Leader.
I was raised in housing. I don't think you were.
That's right. Share the show. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tonight's episode, Majority Leader. Share, folks. Share, folks. We'll be on in 2 minutes.
Like I said, political games that are being played. Like I said, political games that are being played. Let's get it popping.
Good evening, good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. How you doing this evening? Good evening, everyone. Freddie Vasquez, Basement Politics Unfiltered. This is season 3. Yeah, I actually have seasons. Could you believe that? My little podcast has seasons. Season 3 episode, Majority Leader. For those of you who may not know, today, the Yonkers City Council elected a new majority leader, Councilwoman Tasha Diaz. Let's give her congratulations. Round of applause, folks. Yeah. She became the majority leader today, voted in. However, there was some resistance. Some resistance from Councilwoman Pineda Isaac, who was actually the prior majority leader, and to no surprise, Councilwoman Shanae Williams. Let's talk a little bit about Councilwoman Tasha Diaz. I just want to give you a quick history. Councilwoman Tasha Diaz became a councilwoman back in 2019. Actually, to the surprise of many, she was elected. Although she had a lot of challenge. In fact, her signatures were challenged in similar fashion to that of Carlos Burgos. She actually had to go to court as well to defend the accusations that her signatures were not valid. And that had to do primarily with her name, issues concerning the name that she used on the ballots. Tasha Diaz, to most people, she's known as Tasha Diaz. However, her actual name is Tarshina Diaz. Tarshenia Freeman. if I'm not mistaken. But she does go by Tasha Diaz. That prevented some issues when she was getting signatures back in 2019. So she had them challenged. Guess by who? By a gentleman by the name of Robert Voorhees. Robert Voorhees, that's right. Robert Voorhees is the husband of former councilman Michael Sabatino, who is now the director of constituent services. I don't know what that does. I don't know exactly what they do, but the gentleman is making $118,000 as the constituent of the director of constituent services. Tasha Diaz was the former president, and maybe still, I'm not sure, former president of Jefferson Terrace Tenants Association. As many know, the tenants Jefferson Towers Jefferson Terrace is a affordable housing development where the councilwoman lives, who got a lot of ridicule this year, or I should say last year, because she voted no to overturn the mayor's veto on the affordable housing ordinance when she had championed for it from day one. In fact, she campaigned on bringing more affordable housing and being a champion of the people. However, she voted no when it came down to really show if she was for the affordable housing. She gave a bunch of excuses, of reasons why, and I'll get into that in a little bit. Again, she ran back in 2019 where she won. She was an active member of ACDY and appointed member of the Women's Advisory Board for the 17th legislative body. She won a surprising victory again in 2019. She actually went against the machine. The machine did not want her to win back in 2019, so they put their efforts against her. One of the tactics that the machine uses is the challenging of your signatures. So anyone who's looking to run here in the city of Yonkers, make sure that your signatures are on point. Make sure they're on point, because if they don't not want you to run, if it's not your turn, if you are not next in line, then they will challenge your signatures. So make sure that those signatures are on point. But anyway, she won to the surprise of many. However, my sources say that she was backed by a certain individual by the name of Zahi Jeris. If many may not know, some may know. Zahi Jeris was a gentleman involved heavily here in politics in the city of Yonkers. He was also involved with Nick Spano and the whole Ridge Hill, that whole Ridge Hill and Sandy Anabi incident. Excuse me, where's hold on one second, I'm having some audio. Anyway, so a gentleman by the name of Zahi Jeris supposedly is the gentleman that backed her. Here in Yonkers, the way it works, right? There's two strong groups, right, that support, for the most part, majority of these candidates. One group is the Nick Spano group, and then you have the Zahi Jeris group. Okay. And that's from my sources, what I've been told in being involved recently here in the city of Yonkers in politics. Well, the Spano group apparently did not want Tasha Diaz to become the city council member for District 3. However, Zahi Jeris opposed that. He wanted her to become, that's his girl, and he put the money behind her. I mean, it takes a lot of money to run a campaign, right? So you have to think about where someone would get the money who lives in affordable housing to run a campaign, and then also go to court when your signatures are contested, not once, twice, and then actually become elected. So that's the story about how Tasha Diaz became elected back in 2019, the support of a gentleman by the name of Zahi Jeris. And we'll be talking about him more in season 3 of Basement Politics. But let's get back to today and the majority leader, Tasha Diaz. Congratulations. Now, I have nothing personal against Tasha. It's nothing I don't dislike. Actually, I like Tasha Diaz a lot. Many of you may remember early on, I actually gave her a lot of credit. I actually was giving you a lot of big ups, but then it changed. It changed. It all changed for me when she voted no to override the mayor's veto. That's when I saw a different Tasha. That's when I knew something was up. And I knew that there were games being played. Now, today, she becomes the majority leader. Think about that. Think about that. Back in June, I believe, when she voted no to override the mayor's veto, I was very surprised. I was very surprised. Her reason was that the veto, or the ordinance, I should say, did not address certain issues like those that concern folks who needed low income housing. The ordinance was for affordable housing. Two different things. And although she likes to say that she knows what the differences are, and she said that she will take Shanae Williams to school if she needed to, it didn't seem like Tasha Diaz knew what the differences were. It also didn't seem like she read the ordinance before voting on it. Or did she? And then when it came down to overriding the mayor's veto, she was promised something by someone. Possibly. Possibly. And for a while, we've wondered, what was that? Some people said money. Some people said continued support politically and also financially. Takes money to run campaigns. Some said potentially she was giving something in terms of material things. Some even joked a house somewhere in Florida. Seems like a lot of folks here in the city of Yonkers have homes in Florida. A lot of city employees do. And that was a joke. But I didn't know. And I didn't want to just throw out these accusations because I don't want to just throw them out there. Again, these were all things that people were alleging. Sources, people I've had conversations with. And I've wondered myself, what was it that she was promised? I knew for a fact she was going to be promised more continued financial support. And how is that done? Well, donors. The machine will bring top dollar donors to your fundraising campaigns or your fundraising events. So if you are someone who comes from Jefferson Terrace, doesn't know a lot of big money people, you need that support. You need that support. London Reyes, a gentleman who ran for county legislator for District 17, I think it was twice. True, a man that's truly for the people from what I've seen. I could be wrong again. I've been wrong. But he tried to raise money with a campaign of $17 for the 17th district. Didn't do too well. His target were individuals in his district who did not have the financial means to donate $1,000 or $2,000 more than once using multiple companies. They just didn't do it. And that, hurt him because he didn't raise a lot of money. So it's very important that you are connected to individuals who can bring you big donors, guys and gals that will come to your fundraising events and will write a nice check. And I've seen it. And Councilwoman Tasha Diaz understands this very well, and she has to play the game. Over the summer, she became really close to Councilman John Rubo. He was there supporting her in Serrato Park, handing out food at her food distributions. Well, some say they're not hers. Some say they are feeding Westchesters and that she tags along. Many people have questioned why are elected officials involved in these food distributions. While they appreciate it, they wonder if that's their job, especially if you're not clear and concise on what the ordinance says. Maybe you should spend more time reading the ordinance. As a council person, your priority is legislation. Distributing food to those in need is the priority of nonprofit organizations. Why not delegate that to a nonprofit here in Yonkers and let them take care of it? That's what many say. But hey, you be the judge whether or not she's doing her job. But she's done that for a while all summer, and I appreciate it. I did. It's good to see people getting stuff. But I also saw Councilman Rubo there. And I wonder, what was he doing there? What was he doing in Serrato Park near the developments and not over in the 4th District? And they became buddy-buddy, and you can start to actually see the game being played if you pay close attention. So Tasha Diaz, from day one, along with Mike Cater, the former city council president who actually authored the new city ordinance that was requesting a 20% or 10% increase to 20%. Shanae Williams, who made some revisions to the ordinance, and Tasha Diaz. The three, day one people. She voted yes, yes, yes all the way. John Rubo was no, up until primaries. He changed his vote to yes, which was very surprising, but I knew there was going to be some strings attached, or there was a catch, or something was just not right with that, right? And then we had the majority, 5-2. The only two that voted the ordinance no were the Republicans, those Republicans. John Rubo, by the way, was a Republican not too long ago. A few of them actually were. And then Mr. Spano, who we all knew would probably, veto the new ordinance, vetoed the new ordinance. Then it was time to override it. It took a while, but they got to the chamber to make the decisions to override. And what do you know? Tasha Diaz voted no. And so did John Rubo. John Rubo went back to his previous vote of no, and Tasha Diaz changed her vote to no. That was surprising. That was extremely surprising. And many wondered why. Many were disappointed. And Tasha created the big scene. Do you guys remember the big scene?
Like I said, political games that are being played. You can apply.
Like she said, political games are being played. And yes, they are being played here in the city of Yonkers. One of the major players is the new majority leader, Tasha Diaz.
We're going to leave it where it is. Let's vote on this. Let's get it popping.
Well, she voted, and she voted no, to the surprise of many. And she even got into a back and forth with Councilwoman Shanae Williams. Do you guys remember that whole scene? Well, that's where those sound bites are from. She said, let's get it popping. She got real animated. She got very intense. I hate to use the word aggressive. I don't like that word. They say that sometimes to me. But I'm just intense. She got very passionate. And she spoke of smoke and mirrors. She put up the smoke and mirrors. And she talked about veterans, and she talked about the elderly, and she talked about those on Section 8, and she talked about the disabled, and she talked about everybody. But that was about those who were qualified for affordable housing. Individuals that did not qualify for Section 8 and all these other programs and vouchers that she spoke of, but still cannot afford the new market rate rent apartments going up. She basically said, I don't care about them. She basically said, I don't care about anybody but myself, because I want to be the majority leader someday.
Like I said, political games that are being played.
That is right. Corazon Pineda Isaac. Sometimes you surprise me, girl. You do, man. I don't know. I like you. I do. I want to really like you. But you don't give me enough to really like you. I need more. I need action. But I do like the fact that you had your reservations. Why did Corazon Pineda have her reservations? Check out what she said. Diaz does not have the skills and the temperament required for the position. Well, she doesn't have the skills, and she did display that by the fact she seemed totally confused on the housing ordinance. Totally confused. Totally confused. So that shows she has some limited skills and her temperament. We have seen her time and time again go off in the chambers, and they call me crazy. I'm no Tasha Diaz.
Or we're going to leave it where it is. Let's vote on this. Let's get it popping.
I don't want to get it popping. I don't threaten to get it popping at my job, in my office, or with my clients. And that's very unprofessional. We have to wonder, what were the council members who voted yes thinking? What were they thinking? What were they thinking? Well, do you want to know who else supported Councilwoman Diaz? Oh, according to Tasha Diaz, she was encouraged by the new city council president. Let's hear this interview she did with the Yonkers Voice. And I do want to give recognition to the Yonkers Voice for this video. There she goes.
I'm sorry, Majority Leader, Councilwoman Tasha Diaz. Tasha, congratulations. You have proven to lots of people out there that even though you might be the underdog, you can accomplish, you can reach, you can exceed. Tell us, I know you're happy, but tell us how happy, what does this mean to you?
Well, it means a lot to me because I got the vote of the new city council president. That means a lot. For her to come up to me and say, why is your name not in the race? Why are you doubting yourself? And I stood back and I looked and I said, she's coming to me saying, I believe in you. Why are you not believing in yourself? And I said, I looked back and I said, you know what? If I don't put my hat in the race, I can't blame anybody.
That's the ring.
But myself if I don't get it. So with that being said, I threw my hat in the race. And when I threw my hat in the race, a lot of people said that I was strong-headed, that I would be the person to spearhead a lot of things, that I had a lot of good ideas to bring towards the council. And that's why they were in support of me. I got the majority of the Democratic caucus. I tried to work with my other two colleagues, but as stated, when someone has my word, they have my word, and I don't go back on my word. So I'm looking forward to working with my colleagues in all capacities collectively. It's a new year, new things. I'm still fairly a new council person, a majority leader. And I believe that God believes in me. My community believed in me as well as my colleagues. So I'm just overjoyed.
Well, let me tell you, that is the reason I've been calling you the Iron Lady from the beginning.
You called it.
Right?
You called it. Yes, you did.
But look, Councilwoman, I heard the speech from the former majority leader and Councilwoman Shanae Williams. They were not pretty words.
No.
And I know that you are not the type of holding grudges about no one, but how do you feel about those words and why do you think those words were said?
Those words were said because it was an attempt to tear me down, an attempt to take away the joy that I was going to receive today. Those words didn't bother me really because they weren't truthful, right? They say the truth hurts. As stated on the meeting, whatever they brought forth to the table, we can go to those people. We can have those conversations. Because I am a strong-headed person, they use the word curse out a lot.
Yeah.
And I beg to differ. I use my words strong. Like I stated, the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Sure.
And I've been the squeaky wheel for everybody. And I just couldn't lie when it came to affordable housing to tell them that this would be your answer. They lied to them years ago and said that 10% was the answer, and it's not. And as my colleague stated, like I said, political games that are being played. You could apply
Political games being played. Let's stop it. Let's keep it all the way 1,000, Tasha. Let's keep it all the way 1,000. You talk about you didn't like the ordinance, right? Because it didn't, do anything for the people. It wasn't, they said it was going to be, the answer. No, they did not. And we all know it's not the answer. It's part of the answer. So let's be honest. And by the way, if you don't think that that was the answer, why haven't you provided an answer? Is that not your job? Why has no one else provided an answer? Why have they just sat on it, sat on their hands? Why? I know why. So they can reshuffle the deck. Reshuffle the deck. This is not anything to do with Mike Cater, and I'm getting tired of that because that's a cop out. And anyone that's saying that is simply just trying to discredit what I'm saying. It's a fact. They wanted this Mike Cater out of there. Now you have Tasha Diaz, the majority leader. Lakeisha Bellamy, Collins Bellamy. I'm sorry, Bellamy Collins. I always get it. I'm sorry. Excuse me, Lakeisha, City Council President, Madam President. They wanted you in there, so then they can come up with the housing ordinance, and it's not going to even be them. You know who's going to be? People that you don't see. It's going to be the people that you don't see that are behind the scenes, that are whispering in the ears. Yeah. They're the ones that come up with everything. Yeah. You see that? They come up with everything. The people behind the scenes that you don't see are the ones that whisper in the ears of the elected officials and tell them what to do. So it was a game plan. They said, Tasha, this is what you're going to do. You're going to vote no after the veto. You're going to vote no to override it. John, you're going to switch your vote because you need to look good now. Get your behind over in Serrato Park and start handing out some meat with Tasha and say you for it now. Okay? Then the mayor's going to veto it. And then when it comes time to override the veto, John, you're going to go back. You're going to go back because you know what? You had second thoughts. Maybe it's not as robust, to use your word, as you'd like it to be. And the reason why you voted yes just before the primaries was not because you wanted support and make sure that you were reelected. It had nothing to do with that. It had to do with the fact that I want to see more affordable housing here in the city of Yonkers. But I want a more robust and inclusive plan. And I just did not see this as it being that. And you have not presented any other option. Why? You kill it and present nothing, right? No one's presented nothing. And then, Tasha, when you vote no and you on your people, we're going to make you majority leader because only in the city of Yonkers do we make someone who speaks like this.
We're going to leave it where it is. Let's vote on this. Let's get it popping. Like I said, political games that are being played. You can apply
in city council chambers, gets elected as the majority leader to represent the city council and the Democrats. Hey, you Democrats and the Republicans who voted for this. Surprisingly, because Breen, before you leave, we're going to give you minority leader. That's what we're going to do. Okay? And you're going to like that. So for doing so, we're going to give you minority leader, you little minority. And maybe we might support your wife, but we promised Ron Mattin for the letter that we're not going to mess with him on that. So I don't know how that's going to play out. But maybe. We'll see. We'll see how it goes, Mike. Just make sure you do this, pal. Moranti? Really? Really, Moranti? You agree with that? Thought you had a better head on your shoulders. Thought you were a more level-headed guy. City of Hills, where nothing's on the level, is getting to you? You voted for this? Sinead, I like you. I like what you did. I like the way you vote, and I like what you say. However, I don't like necessarily the fact that you don't do a whole lot. I'm just keeping it honest. I'm just keeping all the way 1,000% honest. What do you do? What have you done? What have you done? You know, what have you done? I appreciate the things that you say. I appreciate you supporting this housing, but you haven't presented an option either. You haven't presented something that we can replace this. If this is not good enough for the mayor, if it's not good enough apparently for Tasha Diaz now, not good enough for John Rubel and the other two Republicans who voted Tasha Diaz in, and was that their gift to you for voting no? Was that the Republicans' gift to you, Tasha? Hmm? Someone sent me a video here that I want to just play really quick. I get things in real time here, so bear with me. Bear with me, folks. Mm. Oh, I'm sorry. Apparently, you're having trouble hearing it. Mm. You got to hear this because this is majorly wicked. Majorly wicked. Pardon me. Can you hear it now? Mm. 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 Can you hear it? If not, I'm going to have to present it at another time. My apologies for that. But you definitely need to hear this. It is crazy. Crazy. I'm trying to get this. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get this video. I can't get it for some reason. But it's really unbelievable. This video. I don't know what this is from. I'm actually going to be downloading it here. But apparently is at some meeting there, and Tasha Diaz is going insane. I'm not sure what happened there, but she's cursing, very vulgar, the language, using the B word a lot. And again, and this has been my issue, right? I'm not a look. It saddens me. It does. I'm going to keep it honest. It saddens me as a Latino, as a Hispanic. I guess I'm not Latino, I'm from Latin America, but I call myself Latino, Hispanic, Puerto Rican, whatever you want to say. It saddens me because, we are judged. We've always been judged by the actions of a few. Always, always. And, and when I started to watch some of the city council meetings, when I first started to, start to take notice of what's going on here in Yonkers, I was embarrassed. I'll be honest, I was embarrassed as a minority, although we're not, minority anymore in Yonkers, but as a Puerto Rican, Hispanic, I was embarrassed by the way some of the council members who are of color represented themselves, and eventually and ultimately represented me, represented my children, and represented all of us. We don't always get to have these positions. They don't always come often for us. And when we are able to get into a position, there is a certain way that you should conduct yourself. You are representing an entire race, an entire demographic population of people that are struggling to make it just out of poverty, let alone to become an elected official, let alone to become a politician to represent the city that they most likely grew up in, that they live in. And and that's a big honor, and I think that you need to represent yourself and carry yourself in a manner that it's different from the way we've seen. So it boggles my mind when certain individuals are willing to vote for Tasha Diaz to be the majority leader. It boggles my mind. I mean, the Republicans, I can't believe you guys voted for that. You guys actually voted for that. And that just, to me, tells me that there's something to it. There was something there, and that's the games that they played. They voted no. They were no from day one on the housing ordinance. She gave them their no. She gave the mayor his no. She got her majority leader position. It's similar to the way they've even said Corazon Pineda received it, right? She agreed to put Councilman Rubo as the chair of the real estate committee. So they promised each other, to vote each other into these different committees, to positions for various reasons because they'd benefit from it somehow. What does Rubo have to gain from chairing the real estate committee? And that's a question. What do you think he has to gain? Is there something to gain? Hmm? Is there something to gain? Yeah, absolutely. 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 He does business with his developer landlords. He's involved with these developers in various ways. He wants to see business booming in that area. His business is there. His landlords are big time developers. So it makes sense. And, ultimately, the little people suffer. The people who have small businesses who have trouble with the building department, yet the developers get to, get their projects approved right away. The crowded streets, the density population increasing, the schools just becoming more and more crowded, yet the quality of the schools are not improving much, if any, and are only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. And now we start the year on a remote learning basis. I mean, we have that to factor in. John Rubo, you know, he when he spoke, he said, "I hate to see our dirty laundry aired out here." Well, it happens all the time. It happens all the time. You see the new majority leader constantly fighting with somebody. Shanae Williams, Corazon, with people in the community. I've been sent videos that I have not played of Councilwoman Diaz, of her being aggressive towards members of the community in the aggressive manner that I tried to show you in that video. And now, is this who we want representing us as a city? Us as a people, Latinos and Hispanics and my African American brothers and sisters, and all of us, whites, Irish, Italian, all of us who live here in the city. We are the third largest city in the state of New York. And if you look at our city council, it's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. And so, I don't know. It's a joke. What do you think? Hmm? Do you like the decision that was made by the city council today? Do you not like the city, decision? Where do you see the future of our city? Where are we headed? Do you think we're in safe hands? Do you feel confident in those who are elected to lead us? Yes? No? I want to know. No? Well, we see what Tasha Diaz was promised in order for her to, vote no on the override. So, ladies and gentlemen, members of the city of residents of the city of Yonkers, those who needed affordable housing, there you go. You were sold out for a position as for majority leader position. And I'm sure they're talking to her. Everyone's going to jump on you, Tasha. So you cannot go crazy. You got to calm down. You got to tame yourself. You have to talk a certain way. But look how she speaks. I mean, It's a joke. I say, but is that Mary J. Blige there in city council? You know, I mean, you have this whole hip hop look, you know, with the chains, you know, and the dark sunglasses, and you know, it's not a fashion show. You know, this is serious business. This is serious business. This is serious business. And the new majority leader, you know, is someone who talks like this.
Like I said, political games that are being played. And we're gonna leave it where it is. Let's vote on this. Let's get it popping.
Let's get it popping.
Wow.
Political games that are being played. She's quick to jump on people.
You what?
You know,
I was raised in housing. I don't think you were. I went to Yonkers public schools. I don't think you did. We can go on all night with this, honey.
Mike Breen, John Rubo, Anthony Moranti, and Lakeisha Collins Bellamy. You guys voted a majority leader to represent the council and lead them, who has shown and displayed that type of behavior, that type of aggressive street language, unprofessional, has made some other members feel unsafe. It really begs the question, you know, what is on the mind of our council members? I mean, who are these individuals? I mean, how do they think? How do they analyze and assess and process information and make decisions that we can feel confident and feel, you know, yo, these people are leading us, man. I feel good, strong. These are smart, intelligent, savvy individuals who are going to take Yonkers into the future for all of us. But what we see there is a group of puppets. Let's just be honest. The city council, they're the checks and balance. They're there to check the mayor, not to be his puppets. And that's what exactly they are. Folks, let me tell you, that's how they got in there. Yonkers, that's how they got in there. The man, his peoples, put up the bread. I'm gonna talk street. They put up the bread. Say, yo, you're gonna get in there, you're gonna do what we tell you to do. That's what it is. That's it. There's no independent thought among that city council body. This maybe Shanae, but then I don't know if that's part of the game. Corazon and her whole speech, that's part of the game. You got to have someone to oppose it, right? And make it look like, hey, you know, I don't think that's the right decision, blah, blah, blah. Someone had to state the obvious, right? It's not like Corazon was saying anything that we didn't already think of. So it makes it look good. Hey, you're going to say this, okay? Everybody's going to say it anyway, so go ahead and you say it. So that way it looks like there's people opposing. But in real life, because that's not real life. This is a delusion. It's an illusion or whatever. It's fake. It's false. It's not real. In the real world, that would have never happened. She would have never been voted. For one thing, in the real world, you don't see politicians like this. You don't see elected officials like this. You don't see a body, a council body like this. You don't. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's for show. It's the Tuesday night city council show. That's what it is. And it's embarrassing. And it's unbelievable. And people got sold out for positions. That happens all the time. So, you know, now Yonkers and all those in District 3, when it comes time to vote, these people cannot be reelected. And I don't even know who I'm supporting. I'm just saying that these people cannot be reelected. I don't even know who's running. But they cannot be reelected. Some of them can't be. Some of them will be trying to probably move on. But for those who can, this cannot happen again, Yonkers. And I'm going to be on it. I'm going to be talking about it. Basement politics, I'm not going anywhere. Shut my daycare down. I need more time to do this. Because I'll really be on it. I'll really be up in your, because this is ridiculous. This is absolutely insane. The people are losing. The people don't get nothing. What have they done? All they've done all year was shoot down the ordinance. That's all they've accomplished. That is all they have accomplished. All the whole council is known for this whole freaking year is for shooting down the ordinance and this.
Being played. You can apply. We're going to leave it where it is. Let's vote.
The infamous ordinance meeting. That's it. That's all they're known for. And handing out food, keeping you dependent, not giving you programs to teach you how to get your own food, pay for your own food. Wouldn't you rather learn how to make $1 million rather than over your lifetime be given $1 million worth of meat little by little? Just saying. That's not even their job. And a lot of the people that go there, listen, I'll be seeing some of y'all, and I know some of y'all. I don't need the meat that much. I don't need the food like that. You could use it maybe. Everybody could use food. But some of y'all loading it up in your cars really quick in the back of your 2021 Honda Pilot. That's not cool. That's not cool. It's supposed to go for people who really need it. If you have a 2021 Honda Pilot, you don't really need it. Or get rid of the Pilot and get yourself food. And that's all they've done. So not much has been accomplished. They give out tomatoes and vegetables. Yes, they do that as well as meat. There's a lot of meat, different meat that they've given. I've seen it. Some people have complained that the meat was old. I don't know. I can't say that it was or not. I appreciate that. I appreciate that there's something that, from the outside looking in, right? You're like, wow, that's great. That's awesome. But when you really understand it, you'll see the BS that it's all about. It's so that people from the outside, which is most everybody looking in, could believe that something is being done. But it's not. The only thing that was done was they shot down the housing ordinance. They prevented more affordable units being allocated in those developments on the water. So if you don't make a certain amount of money and you qualified for affordable housing, guess what? They limited the amount of apartments that were going to be available to you on the water. Now you got to go up Nodine Hill by the community center that's not opened up yet. That's where you got to go. Right? Or on Ashburton or on Warburton. And if you're lucky, like some of the people that live in Cottage or used to live in Cottage Gardens, they got moved over to Central Avenue. Over by Kohl's and Nathan's and stuff. That's where a lot of the people from Cottage went before they tore down Cottage. And they're going to continue to segregate people because that's what Yonkers has always been known to do, segregate people. And then you have a council body. You have Shanae Williams, an African-American woman. You have Corazon Pineda, Dominican. You have Tasha Diaz, an African-American who wants to be Hispanic because she thinks she'll get more votes that way. And so you have these minority. And you would think that, right, we'd be winning. But they're not looking out for minorities. They're looking out for themselves. That's how it's always been. That's everyone. It's about class. It's about money. Everyone's trying to get to the top, and so is Tasha Diaz. She want to get to the top. I want to get out of Jefferson Terrace. I want to be able to send my kids to private schools and be able to pay for it because, again, these elected officials, those who got kids, they don't send their kids to the public schools that they're supposed to be working hard to improve. Where's the skin in the game? They don't care. Why would they care? Like, I don't look. I can't it baffles my mind because I'm a business owner, right? And I look at it as a business. Okay, so let's go in there. Let's break everything down and see what's going on here. And let's focus on what most needed to be improved and where could we cut money or cut back from areas that are not as important so we can allocate more funds. Okay. What are we spending a whole lot of money on that we don't need to? These are the things that you need to be done that are not being done. You got positions being created for no reason to give to friends, daughters, and daughter-in-laws, and sons, brothers, and cousins. And positions being created to be given to this guy because he donated a good amount of money to my campaign. And guess who loses? The people of the city of Yonkers, because then everybody, when it comes time to put their kid in a school, is fighting for the same 1 or 2, maybe 3 schools. When you shouldn't have to do that. And that's very stressful for parents. And that's how it is. Why? Because the people that are elected to make sure that that's not happening are not doing their job. They're worried about the developments. That is all these people have been thinking about. Developers, developers, developers. Why do they get everything approved? Everything seems like yes for the developers, no for the people of Yonkers. No on the new HO. Please give them something, folks. Why y'all so damn greedy, man? Give them something, yo. Jesus. Could have gave them a 15% increase. Where's 15%? You didn't do absolutely nothing. A whole year went by. You did zero. You guys focus on your campaigns. You spent money and time on your campaigning, those who were up for re-election, right? By the way, don't be a hypocrite, Democratic Party. Okay? If you're going to allow Corazon Pineda to put her signs up all over the place, including mailboxes, trees, light poles, people's foreheads, then you got to allow everyone to do that. And you can't go after a certain individual because they start to put up signs because you don't want that individual to run. Okay? Got to be fair. Just have to put that out there. I'm sorry. Developers pay off the right people. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. How do they do that? How do they do that? It's called the Committee for Better Yonkers. Remember this. A Committee for a Better Yonkers, or the Committee for a Better Yonkers. That is an organization that is set up solely to generate money so they can put that behind all of the politicians that will support the developers. That's it. And they call it the Committee for a Better Yonkers. Better for who? Better for who? Better for who? And just know, folks, if you live, and if you're not making, a whole bunch of money, if you're, working hard, you have a home, you purchase your home, you're working, but you are impacted by increases in taxes, which are going to be happening. Water bill going up. It's going to be happening. If you're not one of the social elite that have multiple houses and properties all over, this is not for you. Doesn't matter if you're white. It's still not for you. You could be Italian, Irish, doesn't matter. It's not for you. It's for the people that make a certain amount of money. Those that are in the know, that see things happening before you do, take advantage of it and make money off it. Think about the individuals who are buying up property or have bought up property in certain key areas that are now being developed. How'd you know that was going to be developed? It's the same individuals. It's the same individuals. So I don't know. Do you care? Can you find out what the income threshold for low income is? I'll look it up. Very low income are just individuals, I guess, that probably would make below, I would imagine, $20-some thousand. That would be considered low income. But however, the ordinance was not about low income. There are a lot of low income properties. In fact, the cottage gardens that were knocked down and are being rebuilt, that's low income. There are a lot of low income developments that have gone up. Nice low-income developments. In fact, I remember a large portion of my family moved into several of them that were put up, within the past 10 years. Nice, very nice apartments, everything brand new, and they were low income, as some of them, do qualify for government assistance, like the vouchers and stuff that Ms. Councilwoman or Majority Leader Tasha Diaz was speaking of. But this was not for them. This was not for them. This is for the people that work, that may make 60,000, 50,000, 70,000, don't qualify for Section 8, but they can't afford to necessarily, or, their income wouldn't qualify them necessarily for a market rate apartment, specifically one of those in the water. But if the ordinance had been increased, then that would have made more apartments be allocated or be held for people who are not making over a certain amount of money, so they too can live in these new developments. But the developers didn't want you. They didn't want you. So they said, listen, we don't want them. And, we're not going to come there, and, we're not going to do this, that, or whatever. And you're not going to make the money with us if you don't play how we wanted to play, how you play. That's it. And that's what they did. Developers didn't want it. John Rubo as the chair of the real estate committee, and all the people that they put into the different boards, like the, planning board, the zoning board, and all that stuff, they helped make it happen. And that's what it's all about. And that's their whole job. That's been their whole job for the past, I don't know how many years they've been in the office. That's it. It hasn't been about the people. It's been about the developers. How can we assist the developers? Give the people some crumbs to keep them quiet. And then here comes this guy, Freddie Vasquez.
Like I said, political games that are being played.
Coming and making noise and all that. Well, I'm going to keep talking about it. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to be in your face. I'm going to dig a lot more up. And I have so much information. It's hard to kind of really, and besides, actually, I do work. I do have, because I don't need a job from the city, because I've been fortunate. I'm blessed to actually have opportunities where I make my money. So I have to tend to that in order to keep paying my bills. But I have a lot of information. Season 3 is going to be a lot more detailed. It's going to really get real specific on individuals. It's going to actually connect dots. I want to really say, okay, you see this goes to here, then that went to there, then that went to that, and that's how this happened. So we're going to see it just like that. It's going to be like 3D but 4D model of all this stuff that's going on here, of all the people that are the insiders that have been in politics for a long time, the friends of the friends, the family members, the ones who got the jobs, what position, how much they're getting paid, total amount that this one family is making from the city taxpayer money alone, and this family is making this, and this husband and husband are making this, and this husband and wife are making that. And then I can't even tell you the under the table money that we're going to have to try and locate, but we're finding out. There's a team of investigators that have been working hard, shifting through a lot of stuff. So we're going to bring it to you really, really good. Freddie Vasquez, Basement Politics Unfiltered. Do you agree with this majority leader? What do you think? I need to know how to get a low-income or affordable housing. Ask Tasha Diaz. Too many insiders have these apartments. How are they beating the system? Like who? I know Tasha. Who else? They're eating off the city, off taxpayer money. Who else? Well, stay tuned, folks. Freddie Vasquez, Basement Politics Unfiltered, Season 3. This is the premiere. I was going to premiere with Latinos and Yonkers Part 2, but I just had to touch on this subject. It was too good not to touch on it. It's crazy, folks. We're going to change things here in Yonkers. I have a great feeling about it. I need your support. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what side of town you are. This is for everybody. Again, unless you're one of the developers, unless you're one of the elites, unless you're one of those that are insiders, this is not for you. And I know some of you little hanger-oners who get jobs and stuff, are going to be upset with me. But hey, this is not about you. It's not personal. So please, if I, touch on your feelings, I apologize. It's not about you, okay? It's not about the little small guys that happen to have a job in the city and stuff like that. It's definitely not dragging no one into nothing. I'm the guy. You see my face. I don't need to drag anyone into anything. This is me simply putting out information, bringing awareness to the people of Yonkers, as it's much so needed, because the News 12 isn't doing it. This is something that News 12 should be covering, should they not? And why are they not? That's also what I'm going to be talking about as well. It's going to be a few seasons, 3 and 4. It's a lot of information, and it goes back years, folks. This goes back years. So again, pardon me. I won't tag anybody. If you don't want me to tag you, just tell me you don't want me to tag you. I apologize. I'm just simply sharing my podcast. I want you, if you don't mind, share it. More awareness. This needs to this podcast needs to grow. I'm not making money off views and likes. Absolutely not. So this is not about money for views and likes. Don't need that. This is about bringing awareness. This is about providing, a platform and, a place where you could come and you could have it brought to you with honesty. Keep it real. Tell us what's going on. No BSing involved. I give it to you, real people here in the city of Yonkers, how I see it. I pull a lot from my own experiences. I pull from my experiences with individuals because I have been, involved with certain individuals before. I was doing the show, and I've seen certain things. And I'm not just talking about recently, guys. When I went to certain, breakfasts or lunches or dinners with certain individuals recently, or events. I'm talking about even, years before, and I knew certain individuals. So, I've seen a lot of stuff. I understand how things work. I understand the financial aspects of it all. And I'm going to try to tie it all together. It's a lot of information. So bear with me. I'm going to be putting it all together. Again, next episode will be Latinos at Yonkers Part 2. And there I'm going to be talking about the Latino community, the kind of the Hispanic elites and how far back it goes, to Yonkers Puerto Rican Day Parade before it was a Hispanic Day Parade. Back to those who were the leaders of those, what happened there and where are they today, because some of them are still involved here in the city of Yonkers. There's very interesting stuff going on there, from missing turkey money, and things of that nature. Some people didn't get their turkey dinners that Thanksgiving. Like
I said, political games that are being played.
But I will be bringing it to you, folks. Basement Politics. I'm Freddie Vasquez. You can email me, you can see me, you can call me. Either way, I'm available. Have a great night. Freddie Vasquez, Basement Politics Unfiltered. Thank you for joining me tonight. If you have questions, please send them to politicwithfred@gmail.com. Put them in the comments. Message me. Join me for next episode 2 of season 3, Latinos in Yonkers Part 2. Check out the page. Tune in for, keep looking on the page for updates. See the time that's going to be coming on. I'm hoping for Thursday. So part 2, Latino de Yonkers this Thursday at 9 o'clock. I try to make it at 9. Today I was close to 9. Things happen. But join me, please. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for watching. Congratulations to the new majority leader.
No! I was raised in housing. I don't think you were. I was raised in housing. I don't think you were. I was raised in housing. I don't think you were.